Hey, I'm Don Carr, and I'm here with Stan Cody, who is in product development at Fender, and we have the MTG Tube Distortion from Fender. Wow, sounds great, man.
Thank you. With this one, we collaborated on. This one, we went out of house. We worked with our pal, Bruce Egnater. Bruce is an amazingly great human being, and of course, he knows a few things about tube amps.
Yeah, a little bit.
So yeah, this pedal is neat. It's a high voltage tube circuit. It actually has an actual vacuum tube in it. It's a US made, new old stock military tube called a 6205.
Right.
And in the case of this pedal, it runs on 150 volts of plate voltage. So it's like no fooling amp voltages. There's a DC to DC converter inside that converts the 9-volt power input up to the 150. So you know, as you heard on the opening when you were turning down and it was cleaning up and stuff, that's that high, super high headroom working for you.
Yeah, that's the only way to get that kind of dynamic range without it crushing. So. Yeah, I mean, because it still sounds really open even with a lot of gain.
Yeah. Well, and a lot of that I just attribute to Bruce because he just has been around tube amps a lot in his life.
Right.
Super cool. And yeah, I'm really excited about this pedal. I loved working with Bruce on it, and he's awesome. It turned out good, I think.
Yeah, well, this is certainly a one-of-a-kind design too, man. I mean, again, that whole thing with getting the plate voltage and getting it in a small pedal like that and 9 volts, wow.
Yeah, and that it runs on just a 9-volt DC. It draws some current for sure, so you use a high current power supply, but it doesn't require a separate wall wart, and it doesn't require AC or something, so it's very pedal board friendly.
Exactly, and that's really the key is you can integrate it easily onto your pedal board and not go, wow, I got this thing, now what?
Yeah. Cool. So feature-wise, it has a gain control and a level control, kind of like a preamp gain and a master volume. For the segment that you played, we just had the gain control cranked. So this is definitely not trying to be, you know, a Swedish death metal pedal by any stretch. It has some gain, but it gets into kind of, to me, like upper mid-gain crunch kind of territory, not shreddy, searing, you know.
Classic rock area.
Classic rock area, yeah. But then it's really good when you turn the gain control down at like just the lightly overdriven blues stuff, kind of that zone between completely clean and slightly distorted.
Yeah.
I think it's really good at that. So gain control, the level control, there's a 3-band set of tone controls in it. What amp are we using?
Hey, we're using the 64 hand-wired deluxe, which sounds spectacular.
And do you want to bypass it?
Let's do.
Yeah. So on this amp is pretty bright to begin with. It's got that beautiful sort of Fender chime to it. Yeah. So I've pulled the treble back. Actually, you've pulled the treble back a little bit and ducked a little bit of the mids and pushed the low end a little bit just to fill out the low end.
Right.
But the 3-band tone controls are really versatile. It works well with a lot of different amps, stacks well with other pedals.
Yeah.
So Bruce...
Yeah, and the tight control, that's where you were going.
That's a Bruce thing. Bruce has this thing called the tight control, which controls the amount of gain at low frequencies. So it really kind of adjusts how clear or how articulate low notes are. And so maybe with like a single coil guitar, you've got it set where it's a little bit more in the fuller position, but with humbucking guitars, it's a little bit nice. You get a little more articulation and you can hear your pick attack a little bit more clearly with it. Yeah. So a little flexibility there. Yeah. And then this pedal also has a boost where for some reason this has been hard to explain, but here's how it works. When you engage the boost control, you get an additional gain control and you get a second master volume control. So you can use the gain control to add in more gain, and then you can set however loud you want it with the second master. So the boost can be both more drive or more output level or both, or it can be more drive and a quieter output level. Things like that. So there's lots of flexibility built into it.
Yeah, so like a cascading channel amp sort of vibe, yeah.
On the input side, the gain boost on the front end is a little mid-range focused, so it barks a little more. The output level is completely transparent, so it's just more of whatever the basic tone of the pedal is.
Yeah, again, just kind of a volume control at that point.
And I think Bruce worked really hard at the transparency and the, you know, a million tones on your volume control kind of deal. You turn down and there's like good, clear rhythm sounds, and turn up and it saturates nicely.
Yeah, that was pretty amazing because again, we started with this thing cranked and I had every shade in there. Didn't change pickups, just rolled the volume control and little pick attack stuff.
Yeah, so it responds like an amp in that way.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, that's the feature set.
Wow, man, it sounds amazing, amazing, amazing. So turn the gain down a little bit. Let's give that a listen.
Yeah. So down in that zone where is it distorted, is it not distorted, is it just an amp pushed a little bit?
Yeah.
It does that stuff well. If you do a middle pickup bluesy thing, it's Yeah, and again, it's kind of that zone where it's distorted, but it's not, there's some clarity to it.
Right, right. There's still, yeah, still hear all the harmonics, all the overtones, and yeah, and it can clean up really easily.
So to me, I love this pedal because it's super simple to use and it's very flexible for the range of sounds that it gets.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Man, it gets a huge range of sounds, especially with the boost functions, because then it's a whole nother set of sounds.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah. Wow, thanks, Stan. Man, that is great. MTG Tube Distortion in association with Bruce Egnater. Man, that's nice, nice.
Very cool.
Thanks for coming, man.
Don, thanks for having me.
Wow, yeah, sounds great, man. Love it. So if you have any questions about this or any other Fender product, make sure to contact your Sweetwater sales engineer, or you can check us out online at sweetwater.com. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thanks.